Today we're joined by SJSU faculty and School of Information Director Dr. Anthony Chow, who's going to discuss the benefits of our online information science and data analytics program. Always a mouthful for me to say that. Thanks for chatting with me today, Anthony.
Thank you so much, Brian. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again too. So as always, before we get into today's topic, I was wondering if you can just share a little bit about your background with our viewers so they can learn about who you are and kind of how you got to where you are today. And what are a few of the significant moments or kind of inflection points in your life that shaped who you are and led you to become a faculty member here at SJSU and the director of our School of Information?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would say my background is really driven by goals and really working hard to meet those goals. So I actually was a waiter and bartender in San Francisco, putting myself through college at San Francisco State, where I graduated. And I think that was a very formative experience because it really empowered me to, have a dream, which was to get a degree and work towards that degree. And it really was very fulfilling to do it all without any student debt as well. So. And then certainly I got involved in education because I wanted to help children, be more of who they're meant to be. And that really led me to a number of different positions that kind of led to where I am today. So I think in the end, although it's cliche to say, I think it really is about doing work that is satisfying, doing things that you feel make a difference to other people. And it's really that passion that I think is kind of the magic ingredient to all of the people that are considering joining us or studying at San Jose State is really following your passion and success will follow.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing your background with us. Yeah, I definitely resonated with a lot of what you were saying too. I actually worked in customer service and retail growing up as well. And I think that provided a really strong foundation for me as well as I went into higher education personally, but then entered higher education professionally and really thinking about applying that same orientation of really supporting people, supporting students, helping people achieve their goals and be able to advance their lives in the ways that they want to. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Yes, absolutely.
So I was wondering now for today's topic, if you can first just kind of give us an overarching overview of the info science and data analytics program and talk about why it's important in today's society.
Yeah, absolutely. So information science and data analytics, both of which are really core skills in today's society. And the great thing about our degree is that it allows you to be both on the design side and then go all the way to the development side. And so we had a recent presentation from a head of libraries for NASA, and he laid out a set of core skills that they were looking for and really are required in today's society. And the good news is that all of those skills that he identified are things that we teach in our degree. So everything from a bit of programming to user analysis and usability to interface design, and then all the way to developing systems and cybersecurity, and then of course the data that we need to collect and use to ensure that we're performing at a high level, and of course identifying things that we need to correct. So yeah, I would say the degree is extremely versatile in high demand, and I think we can talk about some of the huge career opportunities that this degree can afford you, but maybe we can I'll let you prompt me for that, Brian.
Yeah, that sounds good. No, I think you said the right word as you were describing it. I thought, wow, that sounds really versatile. There's just so many different skills that you're learning while you're in the program, but also then, like you said, that then transfers into all these different pathways that you could go down. And I think I really appreciate you, and hopefully our viewers appreciate you providing that really concrete example of NASA highlighting the core skills that they're looking for and how those are directly aligned with what you all are developing in your program. When we talked last, you also mentioned that you're in the process of developing a couple of specializations in sports analytics and cybersecurity. And so I was wondering if you can talk a little bit more about those and how those are creating new opportunities for students in your program while they're enrolled.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think first and foremost is where we're situated at. So certainly being at the heart of Silicon Valley affords us a lot of contacts in relationships. And so one of those contacts and relationships is with a very large cybersecurity firm, and uh, what they are telling us, and of course what industry is telling us as well, is that the number is as of a couple of weeks ago, 3.6 million vacancies in cybersecurity. All of those positions pay, for the most part, in six figures. So, um, in my mind, the path is very clear for those of you listening to this that might be interested in being at the forefront of cybersecurity for either companies, or the U.S. government, of course, is looking for a lot of those as well. So, Ryan, lots of jobs that pay six figures. I think that's a pretty good proposition to me. So our degree would prepare you to take the certificates that are required to truly be kind of in the forefront of cybersecurity. And of course, the very fascinating thing is that they are looking for only a bachelor's degree. Of course, master's helps, but bachelor's degrees are just fine. So that's the first one. And so we're really excited about really being at the forefront of trying to address that gap, both in California and beyond. And then the other one is sports analytics. So sports analytics, of course, certainly really in some ways completely on the other end of the spectrum in terms of the application, but sports analytics is also a huge field and growing. And so we have a partnership with our baseball team at San Jose State, where we are forming essentially a data team that will work alongside the coaches and the players to ensure that we are really doing probability sampling in terms of both the strengths of the players, as well as comparing and contrasting to the teams that they're playing. And then statistically, we can actually provide a profile and a probability sample to the coaches on who they should play, when, and of course the likelihood of the best team that can beat the team that they're going to play. So it's exciting, and again, I think both experiences, and certainly the entire School of Information, we're committed to really recognizing the fact that yes, we're going to teach concepts, but it's largely focused on hands-on and being applicable, and certainly developing those relationships so that our students have a chance to, as they're getting ready to graduate, really apply them in the real world before they get out.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds really applicable as you were describing it. And I really like how, as you're continuing to develop this program and create new pathways and specializations, how so much of that is informed by what's happening beyond the university, kind of where the demand is, what the new trends are. And, to your point that you made about the cybersecurity positions, high demand for positions that pay really well. It's hard for people to say no to that or not be interested in those types of opportunities. So,
Exactly.
And as someone who studied math and econ growing up, the sports analytics one really tapped into my math nerd side. So I appreciate you sharing that with me.
Great. Yeah, it sounds like we're recruiting a new student as we speak, right?
Possibly, yeah. So you touched upon a little bit of this earlier, but I was wondering if you can discuss some of the other skills and outcomes that students develop in the program, and maybe share some examples of the different career paths that those outcomes can prepare them for.
Yeah. So again, in the information and data analytics field, again, it's really wide ranging. So let's start with really interface design on websites and information systems, right? So when we talk about user experience and usability, it's all about knowing the users that are going to be using your system, working with them, analyzing them, identifying priorities that then you or developers will put into action. And then on top of that would, of course, be the testing and the refinement of those systems as people start to use them and provide feedback. And then on more the programming side is informatics and analytics. And so informatics we define really as establishing the systems and processes to gather data that are what we call key performance indicators. And then analytics is the actual analysis and use of that data. And so that's where a little bit more of the programming comes in. Obviously, programming will come on both the web information systems, but certainly in terms of data analytics. So I'll give you an example, Brian. So we are developing kind of automated data systems within the School of Information, where the data is being pulled directly from the different university databases and visualizing them in Tableau, right? And so as the director of the School of Information, we're not quite there, but very soon we are going to be able to. I'm going to be able to look at all the important statistics that I need to make sure the School of Information is delivering on our commitment to a high quality education. So I think last thought there. So from the analytics standpoint, again, there's some programming that will be involved to essentially interact with databases to pull the data that you're looking for. And then there's also some automation in terms of analyzing it as well. So, and then I can't certainly forget about artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence, again, is automating a lot of that, and even being able to kind of customize and create, that kind of relationship between data and information systems and use as well. And last thing I'll say there is, so I actually have a full body scan of myself, and AI. Google has created this AI engine where it can basically take my body and myself, like I'm doing here, and we could give it a script, and it can actually have me say it. And it's a little bit scary, but that is an example of how far it's gone. So as far as positions, again, these being an information scientist and analytics really empowers you to work in any field, right? So everybody has a website, everybody has information systems, everybody wants to make sure that it's high in usability, and then certainly from an analytics standpoint, key data is really where the successful companies are. And of course, most organizations want to be successful.
They're clueless about the brand.
Yeah, overall, it just sounds like a very comprehensive experience that students get as they're going through the program. And like you said, they can apply it probably to pretty much any organization nowadays, because so much of us rely on information and what we're doing operationally. But then also, like you talked about, and from the visualization standpoint, like making sense of information too, right? To help inform decisions that we're making, how we're utilizing resources, what our strategy is, what our goals are, all those sorts of things. So really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
For our last question for today, I was wondering, you referenced like hands-on experiences earlier. So I was wondering if you can share any examples that you have of potential experiential learning opportunities that students would have as they're enrolled in the program. I think a lot of times when people think about online education, they think it's like this very distant or remote thing, and they won't really have as many of those practical types of hands-on experiences. So if you have any that you would be able to share with us, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I think that there's, of course, a number of different types of experiential learning. I think Thai there had asked about internships. So both the sports analytics, for example, is a club. So even if you're not earning credit, you can be part of that club, and you can be given problem data samples and be part of the team remotely. We also have a user experience in virtual reality, really we call XR, extended reality lab as well, and that's pretty much virtual, but it also can be in person as well. So, and then there are always internships that we can arrange for you where you are as well. So you certainly don't have to be in the Bay Area or be in Silicon Valley. That is part of our job, is to work and establish those relationships. And I really basically, the way it works is we prepare you. We call it bridging. So as you get closer to graduation, we are going to want to place you in some type of experience so that you can be ready to go to work when you get your degree. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's really helpful for our viewers to know just the level of support that they receive as they're going through the program. And it's not just the in the classroom experience, that they have these opportunities that you're facilitating for them to extend their learning beyond the classroom through the lab and the club. But then also thank you for addressing the question that we got from the viewer about internships, and thinking about those types of opportunities that they can apply their learning where they are regionally. It might not be, necessarily in San Jose or in the Bay Area, but there are plenty of opportunities wherever they're located to be able to apply this learning as well. So thank you.
Yeah, Brian, I did want to also add, connecting to the question, so that NASA employee is one of our instructors, right? So the other part to this is that, and this is one of the reasons why, Brian, we are the #1 transformative university, is that we, again, pride ourselves in making sure that the instructors not largely, are indeed experts in their field. Right. And so when we talk about internships, it's not only the for credit, but the relationships and the networking that you're building. And again, just that one example of cybersecurity, they are hungry for U.S. citizens to fill these positions. And so my commitment as a director is to make sure that you have multiple opportunities if you're interested. And Brian, that's the other thing, is we definitely don't want students pursuing cybersecurity that aren't interested in cybersecurity, because in the end, like we talked about, you do want to do work that really resonates with your talents and skills. So, but yeah, the sky's the limit. Again, it's easy to say, but getting a degree in information science and data analytics really is versatile, to the max. And unlike other degrees, all of the skills that you're learning in every single class, for the most part, is pretty marketable. And Brian, the interesting thing is that what we're hearing from industry is actually the soft skills is also a critical component. So I think one of the other recommendations to all of you is you should go into customer service like Brian and I, because the human communication and the relationships is probably even more important than the hard skills. So.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for providing that summary for us. I think the example you shared there, the NASA team member who's teaching as part of your program, I think that's called a humble brag, is the term for it.
maybe not.
No, I'm just kidding. I think that's really great, though, to highlight that, because I think we want people to understand that people who are teaching as part of our programs, they're made up of a combination of faculty at SJSU and practitioners who are out in the field. So they are getting that really well-rounded experience as they're going through these programs, learning from experts in all different areas, and experts in research as well. So thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up our conversation for today. So thanks for everyone for tuning in today and learning about the value of SJSU Online. Thanks to Anthony for sharing those insights with us. As always, please like this video, comment with any questions that you have, subscribe for more content, and we will catch you in the next episode. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Brian. Take care.